Planet X is approaching. The evidence is all around us, but many of us refuse to look. Because to look is to know, and once you know, you are forced to take action. It becomes real for you, and your mind and body will no longer let you sit still idly. There have been literally hundreds of articles recently about the rich building bunkers. From luxury underground neighborhoods to individual underground castles that make your home look like it wishes it was a bunker. Not only the rich, though. No, some other smart, normal, regular folks have begun building or have built underground bunkers as well. Granted, these are not the marble and glass masterpieces that the rich have produced for themselves, but they are very livable and functional bunker systems. Most are single-family bunkers, but a few have gone all in and built larger units. Building a bunker is not a cheap endeavor, nor is it something that you should take lightly. It requires thought, planning, foresight, and knowledge. But if you are one of those who see that things will likely get worse in the future, or if you've been following the saga of Planet X, or you know that World War will once again knock on our door, then a bunker might seem like a natural thing for you to own. You own insurance in case of a car accident, or a tree falling on your house, or a flood or a fire, don't you? These things hardly ever happen, but you are nonetheless insured. What insurance do you have against a world war, or a world without the rule of law? What insurance do you have for an asteroid hitting the planet? Or let's say we get hit by a solar flare, a super powerful coronal mass ejection from the sun that fries all of our electronics worldwide. It may take many years to replace just the basic components and get us back up and running to bare minimum standards. The places that make the components won't even have power, so the first few 100,000 will have to be made by hand, by candlelight. Think about that. In the best case scenario, let's just say that there is a massive weather event that knocks out power and transportation for a few months and we end up with mass lawlessness for a time. Let's say that time is just a year or so. Soon the protests will quickly turn to fighting in the streets, then worse. When the hungry are overrunning everything everywhere in search of supplies. Basically, it will be like the purge for a period of time. And this is the best case scenario. People will still have the basic understanding that the world is not done. It just took a hit and needs to heal. They'll know that one day we will get back to normal. But even knowing this, people will still kill, rob, steal, rape, loot, and pillage. In today's world where the supposedly open-minded and all-inclusive people are the first to assault you for holding a different viewpoint or belief than them, what do you think that these champions of free speech, diversity, welfare, and big government dependence will do for a meal when they are starving? And these are the supposed good guys? If the good guys will pound cake you into the ground for a meal, what will the bad ones do? So you see, being prepared for any eventuality is one of the smartest things that one can possibly do. You carry an umbrella in your car in case it rains, don't you? Congratulations, you are a prepper. You carry a condom in case you have a sexual encounter, don't you? Again, you're a prepper. You have insurance, you're a prepper. Do you see where this is going? Why not have some extra food on hand? Why not learn how to start a fire using non-traditional methods? Why not stock some candles and keep some of those old sweaters that you were going to send to Goodwill? Layers can save your life. One of the things that we have missed the ball on here on our channel is how to make it through a cataclysmic event. We talk about them, but we never really talk about how to get through them. Some folks and even their families have already begun doing this and have been doing it for some time. In some parts of the country, some folks still live off the land a fairly good bit. From Louisiana to Alaska, many folks can and do live off what the good Lord provides and not much else. Perhaps we need to get back of doing some of this ourselves. For the last few years, we have watched countless television shows about survival. From the ubiquitous Survivor, which has been around forever and is probably the king of reality programs, to Dual Survival, Man vs. Wild, Naked and Afraid, Survivor Man, and the list of television programs goes on and on. There is a reason why they are called television programs, because television is programming us to do what the government wants. Ever since they started broadcasting, they have been using it to control us. We have been sent subliminal messages and others that aren't so subtle. All of this is an effort to control us, to control what we do, what we buy, and what we think. Now you have to stop and ask yourself, since the year 2000, why all the focus on the programs that seem to show all of the survival and living off the land. Shows like The Last Alaskans, Alaska the Last Frontier, Alaskan Bush People, Wild West Alaska, and more. And then of course all of the survival shows that we mentioned a moment ago. And the two most out front and telling names of shows would be Doomsday Preppers and Doomsday Bunkers. All of these shows are designed to do one thing and one thing only: teach you the primitive skills that you have forgotten or you never learned because you didn't need them in the first place. Don't you think the government would rather be filling your head with all of the worthless propaganda for all of their schemes and the things that they want us to do? Of course they would. But they need someone to be around when all of this passes, so they will show us how to do it. And for those of us who are smart enough to start practicing now, or those of us who are lucky enough to remember a few tricks when the time comes, we will be the ones to inherit the earth, but will still be the next race of slaves for them to lord over. Who can deny that volcanism, earthquakes, and strange weather activity isn't at its peak level since recorded time? Like I have said so many times in my videos, this could be due to Planet X passing, or it could be a normal part of Earth's regular, normal cycles. Or perhaps it's both. Perhaps the passage of Planet X is just one of Earth's normal cycles, and they are aware of this. Just like that scene from Apocalypto that I mention so often, and if you haven't watched it, it's for free right here on this channel, so you should go check it out. But the scene where the elders are using an eclipse to show that they can speak to the gods, and they ask him for forgiveness, and they ask him to do things like return the sun, and he does it. Today's modern leaders use the same tactics with modern science to cause crisis-level events, and then they race in to solve the problem. Of course, with the cost being passed on to you and me. This allows them to continue living their lavish lifestyles and to still reign over us. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. It's laid out so plainly that if you bother to look objectively for 5 minutes, you will see it as plain as day. However, if you are particularly dense, they still take care of that for you too, by putting it right out front in the movies that we watch and rubbing our faces in it. Look at the movie Crisis is Our Business with Sandra Bullock. It was a flop, and I think it was intended to be, but it had to be put out there. This movie had Sandra Bullock tell us the whole plot line of our lives, and we all took it as a joke. Oh, it's just a movie, it can't be real. That's what they wanted us to think. Where is the best place to hide something? In plain sight, of course. So regardless, if you think that Planet X is some strange thing that's never going to happen, or if you think that it's causing all of the strange weather and earthquakes and volcanism and sinkholes and all the asteroids, if you think it's all just one big coincidence, or if you believe in it, it doesn't really matter. What matters is what are you going to do about the future? Because the future's coming, and it's not going to get better. It never does. It always gets worse. And our future is going to require more than just a happy-go-lucky slogan to survive. I would encourage you to start making some plans today and plan to survive whatever may come. Because the one thing we know for sure is it's definitely coming. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will like and subscribe. We produce videos on a variety of subjects, mostly Planet X and the Mandela Effect, and we hope that you will join our community as we discuss these issues and how they affect our day-to-day lives. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.